What's up, everybody? Z3 KO Trinity here. Have you ever made a bad decision in your life? Or it could have been any decision at any moment and it turned out wrong. Terribly, terribly wrong. And you gotta suffer for your decision. Whether it be jail time, whether it be trying to get revenge on someone, whether it's just a simple fact of taking someone for granted. Today, we're going to be discussing the consequences of our actions. Michael Myers. We'll get more into Michael here in a second. Deep into Michael here in a second. Today, we are going to be discussing consequences. Now, typically, one of the worst consequences that could happen, what is the most awful consequence you guys can think of to happen? Would it be summoning a demon? Playing Slenderman, maybe? Could it be getting your best friend put in jail? Any countless of ways to get consequences. But this is a movie review about a bad cop. Have you guys ever had a experience with a bad cop? Now, before we get into it, I want to show you guys my new horror shirt. So I'm going to be wearing this during the horror vlog. There's old Pennywise the Clown hidden in my crotch. I also got my horror pajamas on, and I hope you guys do too. If not, that's perfectly fine. But this movie that I'm going to be doing a review on has loads of consequences in it. We're going to be discussing Stephen King's Desperation. Stephen King's Desperation has an evil cop in it. We all know that he ain't just your ordinary LAPD. But in this town there are no accidents, as the main quote. And the movie begins with these people coming into this town, and they see immediately a cat nailed to a sign, spread out like, you know, the cross. And the woman's like, I don't like the looks of this. So they immediately go into this town. They get pulled over by this cop. Colin Entrigan, I believe the name is. I think it was Colin. Something like that. Anyway, he gets pulled over, and the cop starts acting very, very weird. Very weird towards them. He even reads them their rights, and he's like, whatever you say will be held against you. I will kill you. And then he continues on, and it says, do you understand your rights as I read them to you? And consequences in this is just evil cops in general. Like, you make a bad decision, you get pulled over by the cops, and immediately you have to suffer the consequence of your action, whether it be an action you did a second or an hour ago. But this evil cop, he's possessed by this entity known as TAC. And he basically arrests anybody that comes by. He kills the people as well. He's killed everyone in this whole entire town of Desperation. And he's got these people locked up in the jail, and he arrests a few random people here and there. Like, for example, in the beginning, he arrests the woman and her husband, or boyfriend, whichever, and he ends up killing the husband because he sees him as weak. But the girl he sees as strong, so he keeps her. And the reason why he keeps him is because the body that he's using is decaying and giving out. So this entity needs to possess the body of somebody else who's stronger. But throughout these people's lives, the people that you meet in the story, they've all had their share of bad decisions that they had made. And they're suffering their own consequences through this horror. And I believe that when they all come together, what I really like about this story is the whole God aspect. It really shows God in a positive way, not just the whole you'll believe in him or you'll burn in hell way. It shows his actual good, like what the good he does for people and how he brings people together and everything like that. But there's a boy in this story who's really close to God. He magically gets this bar of soap that's in his jail cell, and he covers himself in it, and that's how he escapes. And just through the whole story, these people are trying to fight against this evil entity. Now, I'll go ahead and explain the whole backstory. Basically, these people had these Chinese people dig these tunnels and blast these areas. And when they did, they discovered an area which was like a tomb for this evil god, basically, an entity. And it took a hold of the people, and they ended up killing each other one by one. What did you miss, Mr. Isaac? We're just talking about consequences, and we're doing a review on Stephen King's Desperation. But this movie had a lot of really grotesque scenes in it, a lot of very dark images in it. In a way, it was kind of boring to watch. Oh, thank you, dude. You got Pennywise on the clown down there. All kinds of horror characters all on it. And, but yeah, if you guys have not seen the movie, I would recommend you watch the movie. But in all honesty, I would highly recommend you guys to read the book. Now, I've read the book, and it is fantastic. It pays a lot more detail to the characters, and I honestly didn't find the book as boring as I did the movie. Yeah, I love the book. But for some reason, when I was watching this movie, I just was like kind of yawning, and I grabbed my phone, was looking through it. I mean, it was hard for me to really pay attention. And the movie is not a bad movie. Ron Perlman plays the evil cop, and the actors in this movie did a great job with their characters, and it was really scary at moments, very messed up moments. But it leaves out a lot of really messed up parts of the book. Like, for the example, the little girl. In this movie, she was already dead. But in the book, it tells how he killed the little girl, which was more messed up. But if you have not seen the movie, I would recommend you watching it. It was a really decent movie, but the book was so much better. So much better. So if I had to give a rating to this, I would rate it at maybe a 6 out of 10. Because the story was good, but it was just kind of boring. In my own taste. Now, you guys might find it 10 out of 10. But, yeah, the part of being consequences, the reason why I added that was because the whole cop aspect of consequences. Because, you know, like you make a decision or you decide to do something, and it's like seconds later the cops are either pulling you aside or come knocking at your door, and you don't want that. That's a very scary consequence to happen to you. But yeah, this is about an evil cop who just takes people for granted and all that stuff. Alright, let's see. Mr. Isaacs joined us. The beautiful Alexis has joined us. El Manuel has joined us. Haven't seen the movie or read the book. Trust me, the book was so much better. But I got a very important question to ask you guys. Which would be worse? Living in a world where you couldn't see anything, where you constantly had to blindfold yourself and you had no way to see what you were doing or where you were going? Or would it be better if you were able to see everything, but you can't speak or make a noise? You had to go around this world quiet, can't make a noise, can't speak, nothing like that. Which one would be worse? Not being able to speak, but being able to see everything, or being able to make as much noise as possible, being able to scream, "Ah!" but you can't see anything. You always have to be blindfolded. He started reading The Shining again for the 500th time. Yes, Mr. Justin, that's exactly where I'm getting it at. The Quiet Place versus The Bird Box. Am I the only one that hasn't seen Bird Box? I don't know, a lot of people might not have. But the consequence that she faces in that movie, that Sandra Bullock's character plays in that movie, is not being able to really love her children the way that a mother should. And don't worry, guys, I'm not going to spoil nothing about Bird Box if you have not seen it, nor will I do anything for A Quiet Place. But let me know in the comment section below which one you think would be worse. The living in the world of The Quiet Place or living in the world with the Bird Box. I thought The Bird Box was a beautiful, beautiful movie. It was one of the best movies I had ever seen. Very heart-touching, very suspenseful. It was very good. What it's about is this world. Basically, if y'all have y'all ever seen the movie The Happening with Mark Wahlberg? Basically, it's just like that movie. Only these creatures, these things, are just came through the earth at different locations, and if you see these things, if you see them, then you either have so much bad thoughts of fear or sadness, so overwhelming sadness, that you end up killing yourself. And it's just by looking at them. So if you're walking outside getting today's newspaper and you look up and you see that thing, you can take that newspaper, shove it up your mouth, down your throat, and kill yourself. Or some of the people in the movie go so far as to go insane that they think that the creatures are beautiful and they're determined to get other people to see it. They'll do anything. They'll grab them by their face and try to rip their eyes open. And they say, "Look at it, it's so beautiful, look at it, it'll cleanse the earth." And that's the setting of the world. Sandra Bullock's character, she is pregnant, and the husband had left her, cheated on her and stuff, and she kind of doesn't want kids at all. Like, she highly regrets being pregnant, doesn't really want to deal with it. She lives with her sister, and all this stuff starts happening after the ultrasounds and stuff, and they're getting ready to escape, but her sister sees these things and ends up killing herself. Well, she tries to get into some kind of shelter. She's trying to run. She gets trampled by a bunch of people. And this woman comes outside and offers her home to her. Says, "Come inside with us." Well, the woman ends up killing herself because she sees the entity. But before she does, she's all like, "Mom, is that you? Mom, please don't go this time." And she ends up sitting inside a car that was on fire and burns to death. But ultimately, what the movie is like fully about, like what's it supposed to mean, like the meaning of it, is trying to get with people who, you know, you don't know, but still stay civilized. You got to help one another, even if you don't know each other. You have to stick together and, you know, just help each other. And there are people in this movie who are selfish, just like The Walking Dead. Like any kind of survival, apocalyptic movie, there are some people who are selfish, want to kill you for your food, stuff like that. But another ultimate hidden message in the movie is where her kids, she's growing to love these kids. And it's very sad in some spots, but I think that the movie ends perfectly. It is happy, very happy ending, and I just absolutely loved it. Very suspenseful. And that's the reason why they have to be blindfolded. If they go outside, if they can see outside whatsoever, they have to blindfold themselves first. So it was a very intense movie, but a very good movie at that. I would give it a 10 out of 10 because it was so good. I got Quiet Place on DVD. I got the Blu-ray. They both will be terrible. If they put Bird Box on DVD or Blu-ray, I'll get it because I don't got Netflix. Yeah, it's okay. I hope that they do put Netflix movies on DVD soon, because I'd like to own a few of them myself. But yeah, if I had to make a decision, I probably would go with the quiet one, where I had to be super quiet, because I don't think I can like muster going around everywhere blindfolded. That would just suck. But yeah, that was her consequence, was not learning to love her children, and she paid the price for it. Well, kinda, almost paid the price for it. So you'll have to see. But it was a great movie. Absolute great movie. The third and final consequence that I wanted to talk about involves dolls. Now, have you ever just simply bought a doll for your child, not even thinking nothing about it, and it ends up being haunted as hell? By the way, this is the Living Dead doll set of Beauty and the Beast, which is really badass. I got this for my fiance for Christmas. I like what it says on here. Beauty and the Beast, bathed in white, a thing of beauty, but even snow has some cruelty. Shadowed in black and hulking beast, but even in darkness love must feast. And I think, did this one come with like their death certificates, or did it not?
I'm not sure because I didn't open them all the way.
Oh, okay.
They fall, they're so heavy.
That's true. But I also got her one of Damien, and it comes with an actual death certificate, which is really cool. But I want to show you guys my Living Dead doll collection. I got Freddy Krueger here. This is the only one that actually speaks. I don't know how well you heard it, but all he does is do the Freddy Krueger laugh from Wes Craven's New Nightmare, and it says, "Come to Freddy." Then I got, well, this one's my fiance's. Her dad got it for her for Christmas. It's the Halloween Michael Myers Living Dead doll, which is really, really cool. And then finally we got Stephen King's It Living Dead doll, which my fiance got me for my birthday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got you the Freddy for Christmas.
Yeah, she got me the Freddy Krueger one for Christmas. I forgot to acknowledge that little part. But yeah, we've talked about dolls before in this in my horror vlog, but this next movie I want to talk about involves suffering a consequence for someone's very, very bad decision that they had made. But I'm not going to spoil it if you have not seen it. The movie I am talking about, those are badass, man. I've got the Clockwork Orange one of me being a big Kubrick fan. That's cool. I really want Alfred Hitchcock Psycho ones. They have a two set. One is the girl in the shower, and the package has like the hand opening the curtain with the knife. The other one is of Norman Bates dressed as his mom with the knife raised, but the box is the woman's hands up in the shower curtain, which is really badass. I'd love to have those. But there's so many Living Dead dolls that are just really cool, like the Annabelle one, the Nun. They're pretty pricey too, like each one is about $50 or higher. So it's a very expensive collection to try and get, but Michael Myers, believe it or not, was very expensive. But anyway, this next movie, which I sadly found out it was the third movie of the series, This movie is also on Netflix. It is called Sabrina. It is a foreign film about this family whose mom is possessed by a demon. And not only just a demon, but a child demon, apparently. And ultimately, these people go to do an exorcism on her, and the movie cuts from there. Years later, apparently, the exorcism went bad and killed both the mom and the dad. So their little daughter ends up living with the dad's brother and his wife. Well, he is an owner of this toy company called Kevin Toys, or Kev Toys. Hey, Mr. RM, what's up? But toys, and he makes what's called the Sabrina doll, which is this very creepy ass. What's his name? I made fun of it just a second ago. Weird Al Yankovic. Weird Al Yankovic looking doll. But it's creepy as hell. Its eyes are like really big. It's just creepy as hell. But he makes these dolls, and he had a really good success with the first edition Sabrina dolls. And then his wife, he ends up making her a second edition doll just for her. Well, the daughter, she's all, well, not their daughter, but their niece that got from the parents who were possessed. She is like moping, really sad, stuff like that. And this kid, she sees this boy at school playing Charlie Charlie, which is that little game where you put the two pencils like that and ask questions and it'll move yes or no. She talks to him and says, does that really work? And she wants to see her mom again. And he tells her that there's an app on her iPod that she got, or iPad, whichever one she got, that is a demon seeing app. Well, she downloads that app and goes through the house and is like looking for the demon under the dishes, stuff like that, under the beds, in the toilet. That's where most of my demons go. Woo! But anyway, she's just trying to communicate with her mom again because she misses her so much. She's like, fuck the dad, because he's dead too, but she just cares about the mom. But anyway, she comes in contact with what is her mom, but it turns out to be that entity demon who had taken the form of her mom, and yeah, shit starts to happen. And it is such a good movie. The only complaint that I had with it is that it's dragged out. It was royally dragged out. And, like, when I thought it was going to end, boom, another 30 minutes. But it does have a very good story. Unfortunately, it's in a foreign language, so you have to read the subtitles. And it wasn't that bad, honestly. It didn't bother me much, but some people, they're like, I don't want to read a movie. If I wanted to read, I'd read a book. So... But if you, it did have a lot of really creepy scenes, mostly in the beginning. Then it kind of kicked into a whole action-packed movie. It was kind of weird. It was like it really shifted genres. But it was a good movie. I would probably give that about a 6 or 7 out of 10. It weren't like the greatest movie on the planet, and it wasn't as scary as what I was hoping it would be. The doll looked creepy. That is where it gets most of its points. Is, you know me with doll movies, I just can't handle them. But it wasn't as great as what I was hoping for. But anyway, how am I going to do this without spoiling anything? Basically, the plot twist, I'm not going to say it, so don't worry, but the plot twist is the reason why I chose this as a consequence thing. It is a decision that some guy made, some shit stain made, who ultimately in that decision in this movie. It's a big plot twist. So yeah, hope you enjoy the video. Hope you enjoy the movie. I did like the movie, but like I said, it did have its faults, and it really wasn't as great as what I was hoping for. But yeah, we all make bad decisions in our life, and we all have to suffer consequences every once in a while. Um, so hopefully you guys don't make too much bad decisions out there. I hope I don't. I've kind of suffered the past few months because of bad decisions that I hadn't made recently, and I'm suffering consequences financially. But I know it's a short. I want to say thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. I know it was kind of short coming, but the three movies that I chose to do really was like top of the arc movies. Bird Box, like I said, is one of the best poetically done movies I've ever seen. I love the poetry in it, the metaphor they make at the beginning of the movie. I like what the reason why it's called Bird Box too is because she has this box that has three birds in it, and birds are apparently the only creatures that can look at these things and really like not die, and they like go crazy, and that's how it alerts people that those things are coming. So that's why it's called Bird Box. But I absolutely loved it. And then Stephen King's Desperation, like I said, the movie was really good. It's just kind of long and gets a little boring at times. But I love the detail that Stephen King put into it. I loved Ron Perlman's character in the what made it. I think it did go look, but I think I'm going to do a versus movie on Sunday. Be a little bit more deep. But otherwise, it was a good movie. I love the detail nailed to the signs, and just the little details that they put in it was really good. But I just felt it was so dragged out. When I was reading the book fast, because I stayed interested in it. I sound like a robot now. Well, it's probably my internet. I made a lot of bad things. But thank you guys so much for joining. I'm Z3KO Trinity. This has been a wonderful horror vlog. Very short one, so I apologize for that. And I got an idea for the next episode of the horror vlog. And it should be a really, really good one. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. See me for Stephen King Sunday for Desperation's book versus movie review. I'm trying to hurry this up. How do you think I feel? I got 2 shirts on. But thank you guys so much. And I guess... Drop my phone in the floor like a dumbass motherfucker. See y'all in the next video. Now don't be buying any dumb dolls that'll come alive and kill your family. Okay? Dooskies! Now where's the exit button?